What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and I want to bring you the latest on my opinion on the Binance burn updates. We're equally going to take a look at some price analysis and what we can expect potentially this week. Now, this one is going to be pretty interesting. We're also going to take a quick look at what could the 0.2% on-chain tax really do for Terra Luna Classic. If that's something you like the sound of, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We talk about cryptocurrency, Terra Luna Classic, and everything else every single day. And also leave a like on this video if you are bullish on the Binance burns for Luna Classic. And with that being said, let's dive straight into it. So it's currently looking at Terra Luna Classic. We're interested really in the volume, 186.0494 million. Fluctuating between that 194, 184 range. The price is significantly down. Well, I say significantly, we are down 2579. You can see there on the price, market cap $1.5 billion. But that isn't why we are here. We want to get a view for what the Binance burns could look like. So I've been running the numbers through the last couple of weeks. I track the burns every single week, and I track equally the numbers going through it. And we roughly get about 24% of the volume is then used in terms of the buyback and burn. So we can see historical data where we run through the burns, and we can just see the fact that the volume is going down. Now, that can be said across the whole cryptocurrency market, so we just need to be mindful of that. But getting into where do I think we're going to see some of the burns this week? Well, taking our current position on volume, so these are the last 7 days, last 6 days, and potentially where we end up today. So you can see that's roughly about what our volume is. It'll be slightly higher by the time all that goes through. Now, running a 24% a view of that brings us to a total of 587.85 million for the week in terms of Terra Luna Classic dollar volume. Now, when we break that into the price, which interestingly this week we actually have a lower price going into the point in which Binance does those buyback and burns, does give us roughly about 2.2 billion Luna Classic that will be sent to the burn wallet this week by Binance. Now, again, don't take these numbers as gospel, but you know, last week we were only a couple of 100,000 out on what we thought, so it'd be interesting to see what happens. Equally, like I said, the price being low does ultimately support it. And you know, for those of you that watch my channel for quite a while, we could put our foil hats on and say, well, is this a deliberate move to try and burn some more Terra Luna Classic off? Now, the honest answer is the difference is pretty insignificant given the fact that we could only be maybe at 700 million volume. If we were at, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 billion, then certainly this would be a significant number. But 2.289 billion is where I think we'll see those burns tomorrow. So again, a pretty low number based on our last 3 weeks. The important thing though is these new proposals going through. Does that give us an opportunity to really explore some other exchanges to bring some volume? So that being said, the numbers here I've run on the same sort of principles. You can see the numbers marry up. They are just a basic view of this week's volumes. But down here, what we've then done is taking it as a 0.2% as opposed to a 0.1%. You can see we significantly jump up just off these Binance burns, around 4.5 billion. Now, again, these numbers are speculative, given the current price and given the current volume, but 0.2%, if we went up to that in Binance, would give us a significant step on in terms of the burn mechanism. And then if you think about that, putting out to more of the exchanges, or even just getting that 35% of the total volume going through, all of a sudden, these numbers do start to add up. Is this going to get us back quickly where we want to be? Absolutely not. You know, I think we can all agree that the volume is just not there right now, but what we could do and what we should be doing is building, which the Terra Rebels are. We need to unify as an as an ecosystem and get it ready for the run of the bulls. Now, again, like we talked about, here we go, the Binance. You can see here batch 3 due from the 9th of October up until the 15th, and then it will be announced on the 17th, which again is tomorrow, between the hours. It's normally between 10 and 5. It comes out about 2 o'clock generally in the afternoon, so we're going to have to, you know, stay close to that and see what we come out. But like I said, 2.289 is roughly where I think we'll come out. And again, lastly, I wanted to give you some price predictions. Now, again, I don't particularly like talking price predictions. For me, Terra Luna Classic is a long-term play, but I think it's interesting where people think it's going to go. So Terra Luna Classic eyes bullish moves to the 3.7s. Lunac is in the process of strengthening its bullish outlook for support of the 2.5. This critical area has been tested twice in the last 3 weeks, making it a formidable springboard to another substantial jump, aiming aiming for the 3.7s. Terra Luna Classic retraced back to the 25s, completed a double bottom pattern that may be validating in the upcoming sessions. A trend reversal is usually expected when this pattern appears on a chart. So again, people are thinking this is going to bounce. I think it's really interesting when we get ready for these Binance burns. We do generally see the chart dump or the chart move down, then we see a nice increase. Now we're not seeing that at the minute. I would expect us to move into a more positive outlook over the course of the evening for me and into tomorrow morning as we get ready for the Binance burns. Now the problem is we haven't had significant volume this week, so I don't think the Binance burn is going to be huge, but still it will take us over that $2 million mark, which is nothing to be sniffed at. And we keep going. The important thing now, we have KuCoin on board in terms of validators and a number of other things. So we're gonna have to wait to see what happens. But like I said, 2.289, that's the number I think we're going to see at the Binance burn. But let me know in the comments down below, where do you think we'll be this week on that burn number? I am genuinely interested to know. Also, leave a like on this video if you found it useful, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on so you know when our latest videos go up, and I will catch you guys all in the next video.